Okay, so before we actually start the video, I want to say I quickly forgot to put Red Hellbrum into the tier list. Just a complete accident, to be fair. But if I was to put him in the tier list, he would be in the A tier because he's just a solid character in PvP. Obviously got the Petrify with King, some dirty combos, you can remove ultimate gauges. Overall, just a good unit. Plus, you can use him in a bunch of raid bosses or death matches, and so probably use him in PvP. So yeah, definitely going to go into A tier. Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to another Grand Cross video, and today is the 7th, which I was supposed to use every day, every month on the 3rd, which is a month later after, the game came out each month, but because I released a Grand Cross 3-hour video the other day, which is all the cutscenes, that took the piss to actually make and edit, and then when I did have it ready, I noticed like 2 or 3 mistakes in it, so I had to keep going back and changing it, and each day I'm like, alright, cool, I'm going to upload it today, but then nah, it's like, nah, okay, I can't make a Grand Cross video now because I got that video. Then it just kept going on and on for like a whole week. But yeah, it's 7th, almost a couple of days late to it. But we are going to do the actual tier list, which, I mean, it's kind of good that we waited a little bit longer because we did get, what, 3 new characters. Was it yesterday? Was it yesterday? No, 2 days ago, right? It was Wednesday. It's Friday. No, it's Thursday. Yeah, it was yesterday. I don't know my days. Jeez. Yeah, so we have the new characters and 3 other characters too, which were obviously since the last actual video. Now, obviously, I'm not going to go rank everyone up again, but we are going to change some things around, which if you do want to see my reasoning for the other like characters that we're not going to cover in this video, you have to go back and watch that. So this tier list, I would say, is my opinion, and obviously I don't use every single one because I'm not a whale, or like I've looked at the stats and everything like that and see what they do. And this tier list is based on usage in the game, not so much PvP. So right now it's like, let's say, who should we go for? Gopher, for example. I mean, he's good in PvP, but like he's using everything, so he's a must use. Jericho, for example, even though she's not the greatest in PvP right now, she is used in a lot of things. Like if you want to get a high score in the Final Boss King, you have to use her. If you want to do the guild boss, you have to use her. Story mode, you can use her if you wanted to, and then she also is usable in PvP. So and then also raid bosses too. I think you can use her in all of them, but not really. She's not really the perfect character, but you can use her. And overall, if you are going to invest into a character, she'll be one of them because she'll be used in almost every single thing. So that's how we're rating it. And let's just start with the changes. So the first change we're going to do is bring down Jericho into an A, just because nah, you know what? Let's still keep her in S. She's still like used, but it just PvP wise, she's so weak. The fact she still has the usage of raid bosses, and also with the Final King boss right now, she is an S. Maybe next month when we don't have a Final Boss raid, or if we do get a new one, she might not be usable. So for now, I'm just gonna say she's an S because right now you kind of have to use her for almost every single thing. Next, Barn. Low key, Barn going in the B tier. Now he fell off, I think, really hard, which kind of sucks. But I mean, I got me on 1 pull, so I'm good. Yeah, just story mode. You don't really have to use him. Plus, most story mode bosses do cleanse themselves after the first turn, so the buff disappears. PvP wise, there's so many like, nah, he's just not that good no more, I guess. There's not really that many blues, to be fair. I guess King's the only one, but then at that point, like, you have like Escanor, for example. So Barn, he's still usable. I'll put him into A tier. I think he's fallen off a little bit. He's still usable because don't get me wrong. If you have him at a high gear level, and that's one thing too. We're talking PvP. I'm talking about like ungeared PvP because that's like the standard, I guess. Because most characters, like Twiggo for example, you can get the guy up to a high gear level and he'll be in S tier pretty much if you have high gear. So that just depends. But yeah, overall he's decent. Just the fact that most bosses cleanse himself and is like AoE single targets, like the bosses, the story mode characters, the final raid boss, the death matches, all of them have they're all single targets. So that means he's not really taking advantage of the AoE. So he's kind of fallen off a bit. Let's next. Gallant. I would say going down to B now, just because he's not really used in PvP no more, and he's pretty much the only thing used in PvP. If anything, he's actually moved down to a C because you're not using him in, you're not using him into anything else other than PvP. And the fact he's not even usable in PvP no more, I think he's fallen off quite hard. Definitely one of the worst things. Okay, next thing we're going to talk about is actually association characters. So I never really took into account last time, but the good association characters you should definitely level up are definitely going to be Slater. I think he's going to go in A, just for the Yeah, no, okay, let's not put him next to Diane, but like definitely an A, because definitely Final Boss King definitely opened my eyes to some of the mechanics in the game, and Slayer is the only association character that you can put with Gopher, who obviously Gopher is an S tier, and because of that, you can't be leveling up. Where is he? This Slayer you can't really level up because you need to have 6 out of 6. So the fact that you can have 6 out of 6 on an SR just gives more stats to the new Gopher, and that means put him even higher. Plus, he's actually somewhat still a usable character, with his debuffs disabled, I think is what it is. So definitely he's going to go up. Another association I would put up is Arthur. I don't know if you put Arthur in B because Arthur is the actual associate to Merlin. Merlin's pretty much used in almost every single comp because obviously she's got the orb. Orb passive. So you want to be using a good associate with her. Plus you want to increase her stats. So you want the 10% or like 15% buff you get from an SR when you get them 6 out of 6, which you can't get with the actual red SSR right now because we don't have. Well, if you have obviously Arthur thing at high level, then you could probably use him. But right now you probably want to be using this Arthur with Merlin, and probably you're using Merlin and Arthur, so they work very well together and definitely worth using. Okay, so next one going down, I would say Elizabeth. We have the new Elizabeth now, who I would probably use more than her, just because she's kind of the same thing, but just better. She obviously is really usable in the actual raid boss or Final Boss King right now, like one of a kind pretty much, and that's why Lane's gonna go up, because right now both of these characters are just usable and like god tier in the actual Final Boss King. So right now it's the 7th, the Final Boss King's still going on, so that's why these two are higher. Probably both will fall off later on, but definitely we're going to pick up these two. Next will be actually Gilfon. They're going to move him up just a little bit because I have seen some videos of him in and I've versed him in PvP. Decent, he's decent, especially geared up. He's actually quite good, and I think a lot of people are realizing this guy's actually not the worst character. And yeah, it obviously depends on geared PvP. You can use whatever you want. Okay, next we're going to move up Jillian. Once again, Final Boss King. Jillian is used because you get the actual HP buff, and if you do have high enough stats, you don't even need to use Death Pierce because you can probably get a crit easier. And for the lower players, you probably want to use Death Pierce, but the big players, I think they're using Jillian, right? I think if you look at the score ranking right now, a lot of people are using Jillian over Death Pierce because if you stay alive longer, you can get the crit chance even more higher. But then Death Pierce is like just really good with Jericho. So I think that about does it with the associations. I think you might be able to up Diane a bit, but I'm not really sure. What about the SRs? What should you do for those? Okay, so I'm going to put this red guy up into C because he's got one use. Red nunchuck one. I think people are using him in the Crimson Demon or the Beast Howlix because maybe because I got a friend on my friends list who uses him and he just does mad damage, so you can definitely use this guy, and that's why he's gonna go and see, because he has one use at least which you can upgrade. And once again, guys, I gotta say, obviously it depends on what gear you have. So if the gear is quite shit, then the character is quite shit, and you can probably put even Twiggo in god tier. So for the memes, we're just gonna put him in here, and I think that can move on to the actual new characters that came into the game. So let's start off with Big Daddy Escanor. Straight away going at the top in the first place. Obviously, it's not ranked up in order. Merlin's not better than Gilthunder, even though she probably is. But it's not based on actual like positions. But I think in the S tier, if we are going to put it around in positions, I think it would be this. Probably that. No. Yeah, I think that would be the order. Maybe go for first. Yeah, go for first, definitely. Yeah, so Escanor, obviously just solid character, very good. Not point wise, but very good for the clearing the actual Final Boss King. So right now he's good. PvP, absolutely disgusting. If you get an ult off, especially even if they're red, depending on your stats and stuff like that, you can probably get insta kill by its ultimate, especially if you get a 6 out of 6, or if you have association with Merlin. See, the thing is, Merlin is it's only an SR or an SSR right now. So if we had an SR Merlin, then he'll be a lot better. And yeah, it's just a shame he doesn't. But one's a coin shop, so it's annoying that you can't put both of them in. So most of the time you're probably using it by yourself. But even still, he's like, I think mine's 2 out of 6. It's like 900%, which is just nutty as hell. And most of the time he just kills, and he's got just solid stats. His passive stops debuffs. I don't have to whip up his stats to realize what he does. His pierce rate is disgusting. He has very good outfits, which just it makes the character a lot better, which you'll see later on is a bad thing for Daldry. So yeah, I think that's it. Let's go in order now. So Demon Meliodas. See, I don't have the guy, so I don't know the best example for him, but I know he's a must use in the actual Crimson, or was it Crimson Demon Demonic Beast Halix. He's a must use in the actual in that braid. PvP usable. Other than that, I don't. If he was more usable in like an actual like story mode or like anything else so far, then yeah. But I think he sits well into B tier just because you can use him in one raid boss and you can also use him in PvP. But I mean, it's just yeah, he's definitely the worst coin shop unit I think out of everyone that we've gotten so far. Like if you look at these three up here, well, actually no, he don't count. Yeah, I think that's a good position for him. Let me know what you think, because obviously I don't have him. He does come out next week in the coin shop, so we'll see then. Next we have Death Pierce. Now he's a must use in the raid boss, like I said, or the final boss king, because he buffs up Jericho. So at that point he's probably in an S, because obviously you have to use him. So yeah, Death Pierce, if he was an actual like good unit, he's decent, right? You can definitely use him. PvP, he goes well with Jericho. But for right now, I think he sits well in the B tier. Once again, like Medios, he's not really used for himself. He's more or less used just to buff up Jericho, who's an S tier. So he sits well in B tier because you can use him in whenever you're just using Jericho. To be fair, you can just use Death Pierce if you want to. Can't use Death Pierce into raid bosses though, or the guild bosses, because you need obviously the Hellbrim, you need the Hauser, or not the Hauser, you need the Gustav or the Merlin, and then the Gopher. So there's 4 characters you need, so you can't really use him. But Death Pierce, literally MVP of the actual, or one of the MVPs of the Final Boss King, got me the top 5%. Definitely going to go higher with him as well. But yeah, definitely a really good character to have. And if you missed him on the Battle Pass or the Hawk Pass, you kind of missed out, even though he's in the general pool. But if you didn't have him for this Final Boss King, you're not going to get a high score unless you're a whale. So next, should we do Arden? Is that his name? This time we're actually going to bring up his stats because he is a fairly new character and no one even has him yet, right? Unless no one has him because you can't actually get him yet. So his ultimate, or his passive, which is obviously one of the good things about SRs, is decreases enemies' ultimate move gauge by 2 when the character hero participates in battle, applies when entering. So it doesn't count if he's in the fourth slot. He's got to fully, someone's got to die for him to come in, which kind of sucks, if I'm being honest. Imagine if that was it enters whenever the game starts, but he's in the 4th slot. Because then in PvP you can somewhat use him if someone's using like ult food. If they're using Merlin, you can use this guy to get rid of their ultimate gauges. But at that point, now it's just like, nah, what are you doing? Here it's his actual cheap shot. Inflicts damage to 1 enemy and poison for 3 turns. Meh. Once again, not really that good. And then inflicts break damage equal to 40% onto an enemy. Once again, not that good. And then here, inflicts 560% damage onto 1 enemy, decreases HP stats for 2 turns. I think another character does this, so I don't think it's the best thing. But like, yeah, you can just see straight away he's not the craziest. He does have some outfits, which I guess is alright, but yeah, not really. So the only use for him is actually putting on to actual Daldry's Association, which obviously I will be upgrading because I'm a Daldry main right now, so that's what we're going with. But once again, you can only have 1 of him, so you can't actually 6 out of 6 him yet, unless they do an event or they put him to the general SR pool or SSR pool with Daldry. But yeah, this guy right now going into the don't use character, just Association for Daldry, not even worth right now, because he's like a low level. You can't get him 6 out of 6. Passive or unique, just not that good. Just, yeah, kind of a sleeper character. Next with Elizabeth. So Elizabeth heals, debuffs, and also cleanses debuffs too. And the passive is really good. So S tier in the troll category, because you can actually just like make her die and just gives you orbs. That's her best thing, by the way. Her passive is, we just get it up because why not? It's the newest character. She came out yesterday. Removes all allies debuffs, fully heals their HP, and then fills ultimate gauge by 2 when the hero dies. There's definitely some tech around her, but just a super skippable character. And I think she's going to go into the C character because you can use her, right? You can use her in PvP if you're doing the trolls. You can use her if you're a whale and you have really good stats for her. You can even use her in actual farming. Why not? Because she will die and she'll heal up. If you're farming, like, you're just auto some quests, and obviously you don't have the best stats, but you're actually gonna like clear the quest without dying. If Elizabeth does die, she will heal all your team and then also give ult gauge, so you can just probably ult them and kill them. So all when quests you can see somewhat usable. Deathmatch, you can use her if you're lucky enough for her to die first. Everyone, I believe everyone, even though 6 people or 5, I guess, would get the ult gauge and then also fully heal. So you can very much use it in death matches. Good boss, no, you can't. Final boss king, you can't. So, and she also prevents actual. She does what Arthur does, right? She prevents debuff immunity for 2 turns. So she has her uses, but okay, yeah, I definitely put her in B because she's definitely more usable than these guys here, and probably on the same level as these all here. So I think, yeah, I think that's a good spot for her. Also, Blue Elizabeth Hawk, definitely will be probably going up in the future. I think there's a raid boss for her, Fana boss for her, so maybe worth investing in her for now. But for now, it's not worth because, well, I'm not going to put her up because right now she's not the craziest person. And last but not least is Daldry. Bro, I would put her here just because she's my favorite character right now. But actually, though, yes, Daldry I would put in S tier because obviously she's my favorite character right now. But passive, it's decent. There's definitely clips online where you can see her doing she looks pretty OP. But then again, it's to charm one character like what Galen does, and it's RNG, so unless you get the perfect RNG, she's a 1 in 3 character which you want to use. She can also taunt an ally, so you can attract everyone to hit one person. But if that person gets petrified fossilized, petrified, or frozen, it removes the debuffs. I think certain characters can just remove the buffs. So, or Eskimo, for example, so you can end up switching around. So she does work well with Elizabeth, actually, funny enough, because you can focus Daldry, or you can use Daldry's taunt to actually focus onto Elizabeth. Elizabeth dies and boom. She does. Her first skill is quite shit, if I'm being honest. It inflicts spike damage to 400% if it's a gold to one enemy. If that was AoE, that would probably be a lot better for her. But I've seen the damage is not that good, and I think her crit chance is really low, so it's not even going to crit anyway. Yeah, so this one here is the decent one, so it taunts an ally and increases the HP by 30%. Not the worst, but in here, once again, inflicts damage equal to 360% for an enemy or all enemies, which is actually not bad if you're going to do like an AoE nuke team. Prevents ultimate gauge moves for 1 turn. Super good, actually. So if you do get a roll off, people won't be able to use ult gauges for 1 whole turn. And that could definitely win, but I think the fact is it's 360 is quite low. If you look at Diane, for example. Where's Diane? Diane's 600%. And like it's just, that's like a level 1. So I definitely think, I don't know what they're going to do. They might do it for an event, because I heard on JP she was a free character. So if you did want to upgrade her thing to like a higher level, and I want to say it gets up to almost 700, I would assume so, but maybe I'm wrong. But even still, 700% when Diane is pretty much 600% at base level 1, and this goes out of 6 out of 6, she's not that good. But she does have associations with Dreyfus, which, once again, Dreyfus is in the don't use tier, so you probably won't be upgrading him. But Arden is what you'll be using with her, and that gets the crit damage up. All the same characters just do the same association stuff, but you probably want to use Arden just for the fact that they go well together. But yeah, I think that's it. A couple changes to the tier list. I don't know how long the video is, probably like 20 minutes, but we did cover it, all the main stuff. Obviously, Estionor being in S tier, must use Twigo. We got Hauser, obviously, I didn't talk about Hauser. Melios, no, we'll keep him there for now. I think he's definitely going to fall off. These two here, the 2 green dons, are going to definitely keep going down. A tier is like, just below basically S, must use and everything, because Hauser is really good in almost every single quest, actually, to be fair, apart from like yeah, I mean, just apart from like Final Boss King, you can just use Hauser because he's got a good AoE, good stats, good gear if you have leveled him up properly. But yeah, I think right now I can see a lot of these characters here dropping down to C tier next month, and obviously next month we do have some new characters coming out, so we'll leave it to that. But I think that about does it. Let me know what you think. Like always, we do like to check the actual 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross tier list to see where my tier list compares to actual like, or my tier list compared to theirs, because I guess they're better. I don't know, but we'll just see what my tier list compared to theirs. And obviously I haven't seen it yet, so I want to see what it looks like. Okay, so S tier, we got pretty close. We got the 4 main characters. Obviously, I would definitely still put Merlin up. Merlin is so good. In almost everything, literally everything. I think you want to be using Merlin. So I don't know why she's in S, because let's be real, even as a character, she does a lot of damage, especially if she gets a tier 1 or tier 2 card. And the shields is perfect, or the perfect cubes is the craziest. Galland is A, I put him in C, even though my tier list is a bit different to how I'm actually ranking it. Oh right, Guild Thunder, yeah. No, Guild Thunder thinks in a good spot. Actually, put him in A, we'll put him in A, because I forgot about him. He does the 30% defense, which a lot of people are using it. It's actually quite good. So if you do want to use that, I think her and Merlin, definitely the two best. Definitely the two best. Like what 4th slot characters to use in PvP, and then Daldry put in CS jokes. What else will you get? We got Demon Melly. Demon Melly's in A. What did I put him in? I put him in B. Yeah, B, and Daldry up in B. Even though Daldry is just C. Loki probably don't use C. Okay, so Elaine, for example, I definitely put Elaine down because I'm just saying for right now, innit? Right now, she's definitely a lot better because you got the Final Boss King. So obviously, don't be looking at this in the future. Right now, it is May, so we still have 1 week left of the actual Final Boss. So right now, she is going to be hiding what she normally is. Same for Death Pierce, and they might drop down later on, especially Daldry. She is newer, so she's got some fun to her. And then also Elizabeth, once people clock on, she might just go down because you can just low key. She's probably going to go into the don't use because, actually not, probably go into C because people are going to clock on, okay, let's not kill her first. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, yeah, I think that's it for everything today. Let me know what you think of the tier list and where would you put certain characters and who your main is. My main is Daldry right now because, let's be real. Okay, yeah, so that's all for today, guys. If you did enjoy the video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and peace.